Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses! And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey.
Hey, we're back. Carl and I here to talk about the story we just watched, Moses and the bush. It was on fire, but it didn't burn up. That is a really weird thing, I think, to see in the desert. You live in the desert, though. Tell me, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in the desert?
Chick-fil-A.
You saw Chick-fil-A in the desert?
Well, I think it was called the Mirage.
What happened?
Well, I smell Mirage. It looked a lot like Chick-fil-A. I went over to it.
I am not sure Mirages appear like Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
And
It's usually like an Oasis.
Listen.
the closer I got to it, the farther I got away. Basically, I stayed at the same distance.
Oh my goodness.
Then
So
I can never
you-
get to Chick-fil-A.
You
It's sad.
You saw a Chick-fil-A Mirage in the desert. That's maybe even weirder than a burning bush that doesn't burn up.
I know how the bushes didn't burn.
Hold
It
on,
was a-
shush.
I
Hey.
know how the bush did.
Oh,
burn.
okay, fine. Everyone gets to do their theories. How do you
Let's
think the bush
see.
didn't
I
burn?
have got to hear
Ooh,
this.
it was covered in hand sanitizer.
Wrong. Hand sanitizer did not even exist back then.
Okay, you're right, Adam.
Okay,
Hold on.
it was covered in gasoline.
That would just blow up. It's really dangerous.
Yes, Adam, it's dangerous.
Don't mess with gasoline.
Yes, don't mess with gasoline.
You should already know that.
Ooh.
Carl.
Yes, okay.
It was Chick-fil-A sauce.
Carl.
I don't know what to say.
I don't even
love
know what to say either.
I love Chick-fil-A, but that doesn't
Me
burn.
too.
Chick-fil-A sauce does not. It's to
It's
our
not
knowledge.
flammable.
Chick-fil-A
No, no,
sauce.
no, no.
Hey, put in the comments if you know any different. No testing this. But if you have direct knowledge that Chick-fil-A sauce will catch on fire, but I don't think it does.
Tell
guys.
us.
Chick-fil-A
It's
sauce.
basically mayonnaise, and I don't think mayonnaise burns.
Chick-fil-A
Oh, he
sauce
does the
is
opposite.
100% fireproof.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so that's a
Tell us.
crazy story, and this is how it was on fire. It was a miracle. That's how.
Exactly. That was what I was
Yes,
gonna
It was a
say.
miracle. That's how God did it. But the thing is, God needed to get Moses' attention because remember, Moses, he had grown up, he was an important guy in Egypt, and then he ended up getting into a fight, killed a guy, had to leave, and he needed to come back to lead the Israelites out. And I think one of the best things in the story, Carl, is God says to Moses, I have seen the suffering of the Israelites. I know that, and I'm going to send some way to set them free from their suffering. And that's amazing because I think one of the coolest things is that God sees our suffering and he makes a plan of salvation. Like, what is a plan of salvation that God had for our suffering? Do you have any ideas?
Jesus.
Yes, Jesus.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all people were suffering with sin.
I thought you meant like our current suffering.
Well, even now, right? All of us are suffering from. We're suffering from other things, but the main thing we're suffering from is sin. And without the plan of Jesus dying on the cross for our salvation, we'd still be suffering. So that was, and that wasn't easy, right? Was it easy for Jesus to die on the cross? No, it was hard.
Goodness,
It was
no.
it was bad. It was hard for his family.
Instead of this, like, It's like this.
You guys are so.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, but this is true. This is true. Jesus' death on the cross was hard suffering for him and his family, but I'll tell you this: it was worth it because it was God's perfect plan of salvation. And Moses' way that he gets the Israelites out, we'll talk about it next week. It's not a good thing. It's bad. It's hard. But God sees us when things are hard. God sees us when we suffer, and God has a plan to save us. So I know lots of kids out there have been going through some hard times lately, and maybe things are different than they want. Maybe they can't see as many friends as they want to see. Maybe they can't go to school or be on their soccer team or all the other things that they like to do. But God sees it, and he has a plan to save you from it. But the best plan he had to save you from stuff was his plan to save you from sin. And that was the most important one, right?
I've got something to say.
Oh, you've got something to say.
Have you ever been through a hard time?
Have I ever been through a hard time?
Really hard time.
Oh, really hard time.
I have.
Oh, Carl, tell
Oh,
me.
Carl, tell us about it.
Last Sunday when I went to Chick-fil-A, and this Sunday, both these times, I went to Chick-fil-A, and then it was closed.
That's not a hard time.
You don't love Chick-fil-A like us!
Chick-fil-A's closed every Sunday. Just go on Saturday or Monday.
It's delicious! I can't handle it!
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Any day.
Thursday.
I don't
Just not
like
Sundays.
Wednesday.
I'm free Sunday.
Wednesdays and all.
Carl's only free on Sundays. Well, guys,
Sometimes
hey,
I
listen.
can get out early on Saturday.
I know that maybe things are going, but God's on your side. He will rescue you, just like he kept rescuing people in the Bible if you put your trust in him. So keep trusting in God and don't give up, whatever you do. And we will see you guys next week. All right, say goodbye.
Chick-fil-A.
Bye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Chick-fil-A!
Chick-fil-A!
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yay!
Yay.
Hey, if you love the graphics that you saw at the front of this video and the cool little Bible characters, this is where we got them. We got them from Narciso Evaristo and his awesome Etsy shop, Smart Arts for Kids. So feel free to check that out. It's a lot of great work, a lot of great stuff for school or for church.